Hey everyone, Tyson the Subaru specialist from Subaru Prince George here. Today we're taking a look at the 2024 Subaru Crosstrek Touring in the offshore blue metallic. So Touring is the second step up, one step up from the convenience. And this is the color that replaced the cool gray khaki, the offshore blue metallic. So it's not flat like cool gray was, and it's a little bit darker, less matte, a little bit more depth to it. Good looking color. So Touring was one step up from the entry level. It's powered by the 2-liter 4-cylinder boxer engine producing 152 horsepower. Get great efficiency. Not as powerful as the 2.5 available in the Onyx and the Limited, but most people find it more than adequate. 24 Crosstreks got a redesign, a new front end, rides on an updated Subaru Global platform. All of the headlights are LED steering responsive and have high beam assist. Great feature, very underrated if you ask me. If you have a chance to try it out, I do recommend that. New, more aggressive front bumper with those C-cut channels that you see on the Outback, the Legacy, and the Ascent. LED fog lights. More aggressive, larger honeycomb grille, and we've got these gray metallic wings that tie into the headlights. Very aggressive front end. If you have a side-by-side comparison with a previous gen, these look much sportier. Not that the previous gen was bad or doesn't look good, this is just a significant improvement. You get the machined alloy and black wheels, 17-inch wheels on the Touring and the Convenience. Get large fender flares, if that's what you want to call them, the cladding, functional vents. Mirror caps on all of the Touring models are gray metallic. They all have integrated turn signals. Safety. The new style roof rails, a little thicker. Can't guarantee that the old crossbars are going to work on these. You might have to buy the new ones. You know, manufacturers do that, but they are now available. You can get them at your Subaru dealer. They weren't available until yesterday, actually. Side profile, got some really nice body lines, especially along the lower portion of the Crosstrek. I really like here, and the camera might not be picking it up, but it kind of V's to a body line and goes across. I think that's very attractive myself. New rear tail lights. I think this is probably my favorite view of the Crosstrek. I've said this in a bunch of videos. I really like the rear 3/4 view. This tail light with the black, I think this is phenomenal. It looks great lit up at night. I don't do a whole bunch of filming at night, so you'll have to take my word for it or find one to follow. Rear bumper, we do have functional rear vents, and then you've kind of got that built-in diffuser, very much like a WRX. I think that this is very much an SUV version, crossover version of a WRX. I don't know if you guys think I'm crazy with that. Put that in the comments below, what your thoughts are on the appearance of it. Fuel door is tied to your driver door. If your driver door is unlocked, the fuel door is unlocked. And when you lock it, there's a little pin that shoots out of here and locks into the hole there. Here, I'll show you that. Let me grab the key. So if I click lock, top button here, little black pin, click unlock, it retracts. And then you just close it. So when it's locked, fuel door doesn't open. When it's unlocked, it opens. Really easy. A little bit different. Took me 20 minutes the first time I got in a Subaru that did that. Far longer than I would have liked it to take me. But to open the rear hatch, pretty much right between these two little circles here, or stars here, sorry, there's a little rubber switch. Press and lift, and that's just right there. Backup camera. Now the backup camera does have its own sprayer. I'm not going to show it in this video because the new owners of this one are going to be coming to pick it up soon. I don't want washer fluid all over it, but you can clean the backup camera without actually having to wipe it off with your finger. Lots of room in the rear of the Crosstrek. Way more than people expect. I actually just had a couple looking at one, and they were actually amazed how much room is in this versus vehicles in the comparable class. So on the sides, we have grocery bag hooks up top. Nice hard mount physical tie downs, easy to secure things too. You don't want them rolling around. And then we have these hooks on the bottom. So these hooks on the bottom, those tie in with the grocery bag hooks. You can get a cargo net accessory and it'll actually tie into there. So you can hold something to the floor and then you get a hammock style cargo net and it'll hold things and stop things from sliding around. Now, I get asked about these indents all the time. Those are cup holders for tailgating. Now, Subaru didn't tell us it was specifically for tailgating, but let's be honest, that's what it's going to be used for. halogen cargo light, you can shut it off, or when you close the rear hatch, that will shut off as well. Underneath here, spare tire, eye bolt, jack, all of the tools you need, easy access. And then we have this little motif, and there's a little Crosstrek right there, little Easter eggs. Subaru started doing little Easter eggs in a lot of their vehicles, especially on the wilderness trims. And then up top here, textured, and I don't know if the camera's gonna pick this up, but it does say Subaru here. It is kind of hard to pick up with the angle, but it does say Subaru. Handle to pull down on. No power gates are available on the Crosstrek. Maybe in the future, but currently no. Second row, there's a lot of room. There's far more room here than people think. I'm a bigger guy, I fit in the second row. I've got lots of headroom, I have lots of leg room. Even with the front seat pushed back in a position that I drive in, there's lots of room. Now this is what they call the premium cloth. So a little different than the convenience cloth. This is a little bit of green in it, so it's kind of deceiving. It's green and light gray / dark gray. Cloth, upholstery, very comfortable. We have anchors for child seats, easy access. Now, I did have someone comment they didn't like how it was cut out. That's from the factory, and if you don't have child seats, you're never gonna see it, and you won't know it if I didn't show you, most likely. Fold down armrest with integrated cup holders if there's only 1 or 2 rear passengers. On the back of the front passenger seat, there is a map back pocket for storage. Center console, we have USB A and C sockets for charging. On the door itself, bottle holder with a little bit of storage. This is soft touch, rest your arm on it, but the door itself, hard touch plastics, power windows. Then this has that same mountain motif, but this is designed to be grippy. That's why it's textured. And that is so that if you get crossbars and you're loading something on the roof, it's easier to gain access to it if you're vertically challenged. If you stand on the tire, and go straight up, you're essentially at the back, and you're gonna be leaning forward and over. So you get better purchase standing there than on the tire. And the tire does sit inside the fender a little bit, so you're not gonna get as good of a grip. I do get asked about this right here, what that is. Got this little silver bar, extra bar in the door for safety. It stops intrusion into the passenger area on a side impact. So it's safer for your passengers, anyone in the back seat. And this just ties right in there. Hopefully no one ever needs it. With it being a proximity key, the key just needs to be in your purse, your pocket, your backpack, your bag, within 46 inches. So it's in my pocket. Then to lock it, I've got these lines. All I do is I touch, and you're gonna notice that you're gonna get a little light right there indicating that it's locked. Wait a second, put your hand back in. It's gonna do the same thing. Now you can turn off that small audible chime and turn off the hazards flashing if you don't like it. It's just a good indicator that it's actually worked. Up front, door card, same color scheme as the second row door card. Soft touch. This is soft touch gray carpet, so much more comfortable for the driver if you're resting your arm there. We have our window locks, our 4 power windows, our power mirror adjustment. Got a bottle holder with a bit more storage than the second row door card. Seat. They've redesigned these seats. I don't want to call them zero gravity seats or anything like that, but they've made it so that your pelvis doesn't move as much while driving. Less vibration means less fatigue at the end of the day. So they've really beefed up this area, lots of HD foams, a little bit more bolstering, very comfortable. It's not hard bolstering, but big difference in the seats. If you have the chance to try out an 18 to 23 versus these, you should notice a big difference. Now in the touring model, it is height adjustable based off of a pump system. You can raise it or lower it, and they did actually change this mechanism. I like this, it feels sturdier. I felt that the 23s and older felt rather flimsy and like I was going to break it when I was using it, especially if I was sitting on the seat while doing it. We have a scroll wheel for the brightness of your gauges, fuse panel, and then SRS knee airbag down there. On the door card, you'll notice we have that faux carbon fiber, and that does tie in here on the driver dash, so it kind of brings the interior together. Steering wheel adjustment, pull down, and then tilt and telescopic, depending how you like to sit. So you can fit drivers of varying heights, arm lengths, leg lengths. Push one start, foot's on the brake light goes green. Green means go. Everything comes to life. We're gonna turn that down, and we're gonna turn down the air conditioning. That is absolutely blasting, and we're gonna turn the temperature down. So steering wheel is the new style steering wheel, and you'll find that in the Outbacks, Legacies, Ascents, and new Crosstreks now. And I'm going to assume that this is going to be the same steering wheel style that we're gonna see moving forward, except in the WRX and BRZ. Left-hand side looks a little different. It's still our Bluetooth and audio control side. Volume is now a nice left-right button, and it feels great. Good tactile feedback when you press it. And I don't know if you can hear it. It's got a satisfying click. I really like that. Might be a moot point for some of you. Accept call, hang up or decline call, issue voice commands, or access Siri. Source switches from AM to FM to CD to aux to whatever music you have set up. Switch between presets. Now this toggle used to be volume. That changes our small little center display that gives us different information depending what you want to look at while you're driving. Right hand side, we have our adaptive cruise and we have our lane centering up there. Now both of those systems use these 3 eyesight cameras. We've got the 2 color stereo eyesight cameras. This is the 3rd new camera, the wide angle mono camera. So you've got a wider field of view left to right. It'll pick up pedestrians and cyclists, and ideally more vehicles earlier and through a wider field of view left and right. So hopefully it doesn't drop any vehicles from your sight when you're using the adaptive cruise. Of course, it can't see around a 90-degree corner if there's something, but you do have quite a range of view with that. Now, I've turned on the cruise. I get an image of the Crosstrek there, and you'll notice that there's 4 bars ahead of it all the way down to 1. That is the follow distance behind the vehicle ahead of you that you'll follow at if you catch up while using cruise control. 4 bars, 100 kilometers an hour, roughly 150 to 180 feet. Decent amount. Lane centering, off. When I turn it on, you get the little image there. Now this is designed to work above 60 kilometers an hour. Cameras are looking for road lines. If it can see a road line, whether that's one or both, it'll illuminate whichever side it can see, or both, or none if there's no road lines or it's winter. Whenever it's got a white line above 60, it will space you off of that line, and it'll actually give you gentle steering input to help keep you in the center of your lane. It's a great feature. Second half of a day of driving. Don't use it around town. I can't recommend use it around town. It's not hands-free. You still have to use critical thinking while driving, but it's a nice aid. You're less fatigued at the end of a day. Sport and intelligent drive modes. It defaults to intelligent for everyday driving. You can see on the bottom left where it says P for park. Just to the right of that, it says I for intelligent. If I press the S button, it goes to sport mode. That yellow line's a little bit more aggressive than the blue. You'll accelerate faster, your RPM sit at a higher rate, and you'll go faster sooner. Use a little bit more fuel though. Below that, heated steering wheel. Now, it does not heat between the seams, and there's a little dead spot right here, but everywhere that you're gonna keep your hands gets nice and toasty. It's up to 40 degrees Celsius. It's warm, very warm. Great thing for the winter here. Now, we have this little nub right there. That's your blind spot detection, and you've got one on the driver's side mirror and the passenger side mirror, and it looks like so. Illuminates orange whenever someone's in your blind spot on the corresponding side. And I just turned that off and turned it on to get it to do that. But it doesn't eliminate shoulder checking, but it's a great aid. You kink your neck and you can't turn quite as far. But in the Crosstrek, I've got really, really good visibility. I mean, there are vehicles with better visibility, like a Forester, but this is excellent visibility if you ask me. Over here, infotainment, 11.6-inch touchscreen. They've broken it into 3 portions. So top portion here, we've got X mode. X mode is like 4x4 low on a pickup for really rough stuff, low speed, under 40 kilometers an hour. You have to be going under 20 kilometers an hour to turn it on. Just press on. There you go. X mode. Rough terrain mode, downhill descent controls active, and it locks the all-wheel drive 50-50. It's like 4x4 low. 99% of people are never going to need to use that. You've got weather, which is part of your 3-month satellite radio trial. Gauges. Now I can change these widgets around. All I do is I press, and it brings it up. Choose the one you want to get rid of or replace. Average speed, I don't care. Let's do calendar. It's Wednesday the 19th. There you go. And then all the way to the left, this will be what we're listening to. So whoever was in it last, listen to Octane. Below that, we have the main portion of our screen with radio, media, and phone. Phones to hook up your phone to Bluetooth. When you hook it up to Bluetooth, it'll automatically ask you if you want to hook up to Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Media will be Bluetooth or aux or USB, however you have a device plugged in. Radio is radio, including Sirius. Apps will have wireless Android Auto and wireless CarPlay. In the entry-level model, it is a wired connection. But yeah, those will illuminate when you're ready to go. Access to the MySubaru app after the vehicle's registered in your name. MySubaru, that's going to allow you to call for roadside and book your service appointments, use concierge service, and then you download the MySubaru app and you log in and you can remote start your car. It's pretty darn cool. Car info gives us things like driving statistics. You can set maintenance reminders. Backup camera automatically pops up. Shows you the top of the bumper so you have something to relate to. If I wanted to clean it, I twist and hold this end of this column towards myself and it'll put fluid over top of that. And then below that, climate controls. So we have physical buttons on either side because it is dual zone, or I can press, it'll bring up this screen. I can control where I want my airflow being directed. If I want max AC, sync that together. Very easy to use. It doesn't take a whole bunch to get used to. Turn it off. Big fan strength buttons, hard to fat finger and miss it. We have the ability to just put the climate to the front, or we can have it put a lot of air to the rear as well. That's something that's important to some people. You have the ability to turn off the auto stop start. Defaults to on when you turn on the ignition, but this is pretty darn close to the shifter that you're going to be touching anyways when you're driving. So it's pretty simple. Click, put it in drive, disable it. Below that, little storage cubby. You've got USB A and C sockets with an aux, a little bit of storage. Automatic CVT transmission. We have the ability to pull it over to manual mode. And we use our paddles, upshift and downshift. Park brake, pull up to turn it on. And so long as your foot's on the brake, you push down and it shuts off. Drink raisers for both of these offset cup holders. So if you have short drinks, they will be easier to grab. You're not just grabbing the lid and hoping it stays on. There's a 12 volt outlet, a little bit of storage. And in the center console, it's just storage. There's no connections, no ports in there. Up top, we have SOS and Concierge. That's part of the 3-year trial to the connected services you get with most new Subarus. You'll get a little green light when it's enabled. And then we have our door light switch, our map lights, sunglass storage, vanity mirror, and an extender for when the sun's directly at your left or right. And then rear seat reminder, that just means the back door was opened within 30 minutes of turning on the ignition. So I'll give you guys one final walk around the 2024 Subaru Crosstrek Touring in the offshore blue metallic with the 2-liter 4-cylinder boxer engine. If you haven't had a chance to drive one, I do recommend it. They drive beautifully. It is an improvement over the previous generation. And very, very nice color. I don't think the camera is doing it justice. That is a quick look at the 2024 Subaru Crosstrek Touring in the offshore blue metallic. I'm Tyson, the Subaru specialist from Subaru Prince George. If you guys have any questions about this vehicle, any of the vehicles in our lineup, any of the tech in it, or something you saw in the vehicle that I may not have gone over, please put it in the comments below. I'm always looking to answer you guys' questions. And if you're in British Columbia looking for a vehicle, our wait times are typically less than the big dealers, so please reach out to me directly. I would love to help you get your newest Subaru. Thanks for watching. We'll talk soon.